Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, ladies. How are you all today from your respective areas? All of you look so beautiful today, so thank you for being here in the virtual studio audience. I know as you're coming in as well, you're going to be grabbing virtual seats quickly, and we encourage you to share this broadcast. Let everyone know that the Kim Jacobs Show is on the air, and we're talking today about disrupting the status quo. That alone should get everyone tagged, because do you know how many times we need to just shake up something that we're currently doing that's simply not working? And today we have some of the authors. Actually, there are about 22, if I'm not mistaken, authors. And so over the few days coming up, we're going to be talking with some of these individuals, and the visionary herself, Dr. Sonia Rickett Stinson, is here. So we're going to get started with today's episode. Tell us where you all are from. Christine, tell me where you're from by chance.
Hello, everyone. I am from Houston, Texas.
Okay. And how about you, Dr. Sonia, over there?
I am from Chicago, Illinois, the Chi-Town.
Okay. Dr. Natalie.
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Oh, that's, I knew it was something about your accent. I was like, you like serious. It's like, you have this like really professional image, right? But then you have this strong voice. And I was like, where's that voice? What accent is that? I couldn't pinpoint it. New York. Okay, glad to have you in the house. And how about you, Prophetess Susan?
I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Get out of here. So I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, I'm from Newport News, Virginia originally, everybody. So many times people hear me say 757, and people are like, why she do that all the time? Anybody in Newport News knows why I'm doing that, right? But I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've lived here for about a little over 20 years now. So Charlotte is my home now, So anyway, I'm so glad to have each of you all here today. And the beautiful part about being in a virtual situation with our show is we can have guests from all over the world right here to share with each of you all in the studio audience. Let me see who else is chiming in and where you might be visiting in from as well. We'll make sure that we recognize you throughout today's broadcast. Type your name, type where you're visiting in from, and most importantly, share the broadcast with others. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started right after this commercial break. Dr. Sonia, we're going to hear from you. You ready for this?
Yes.
You born ready for this, right? Look at them stilettos in the background. You know you ready for this. We'll be right back, everybody, right after this commercial break.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. We are back and we're talking with the visionary Dr. Sonia Rickett Stinson and some of the authors from Disrupting the Status Quo. So as we get ready to hear from this visionary herself, I'd like to be able to introduce her to you. Dr. Sonia Rickett Stinson is the founder and CEO of the Matthew House Incorporated, which provides daytime services to homeless citizens. In its 30 years of existence under Dr. Stinson's leadership, the organization has grown from delivering essential services to providing 73 units of permanent supportive housing. I'm going to let Dr. Stinson tell you some more things about her as a true visionary and founding pastor of Victory and Grace Christian Church in Chicago. And she serves as an apostolic covering for True Love Christian Church in Chicago and many other entities as well. This woman is a powerhouse, and we're so honored to have her here as the visionary. Welcome, Dr. Sonia Ricketts Stinson. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Kim, for having us on. It's a great, great, great show. And let me say that this book has taken off, and I am just so honored, as I tell these ladies, to be able to serve them in this capacity. They have been phenomenal. And of course, we made #1 bestseller in several categories, and it's just a great read. These ladies are so transparent as they transition from where they were and to where they are now. They're coming from all over the world, including Canada. We've had Cheryl on from Canada, and I'm just happy that we're getting so many testimonies about this book. And I've been asked, well, we're going to do volume 2. And I said, yes, volume 2, we are doing volume 2. I love these women. They worked hard. I had to give a kudos out to, of course, Deborah Anthony, who was our writing literary coach, and of course, our publisher, Dorothy Patrick Wilson from DW Publishing, who worked very hard. And if you don't have Disrupting the Status Quo, entrepreneur women crushing mediocrity and maximizing their potential, you need to get this book from one of these women. Their website is here. Make sure you get it from them so you get your autographed copy. And thank you for all that have purchased and supported us.
Wow. I can't wait for everyone that's watching today to get your copy of Disrupting the Status Quo. And you wrote one of the chapters as well.
Yes.
And in here, you talk about transforming your purpose and crushing mediocrity. What advice would you give to people that don't even really know where to begin, Dr. Sonia? They're trying to figure out, they may know I'm stuck, I'm here, I'm mediocre, but how do I literally get myself out of the cement to officially get moving in the right direction? Any advice?
One thing that I wrote in my chapter: you must give yourself permission to soar. You don't need anyone else's permission to soar. You don't need anyone else's permission to dream. Give yourself permission to soar. And soar for me is in the capital letters, because you can soar in every area of your life. That includes family, church, becoming an author. If you desire to become an author, do not sit on your story, because there is someone out there that's waiting to hear your story. And so it is time for you to write, because writing lasts forever. I say that there's too many resources that are in the grave right now because individuals would not write their story. So today, if you're sitting on a story and you know that you've triumphed over things and it's a healing for other women, give yourself permission to soar. Begin to dismantle those beliefs that people say that you can't do. And when no comes in, find out what's on the other side of that no.
That's good. Okay. So you dropping some serious knowledge. No wonder you the visionary over there. You got everybody all motivated. We're like, yes. we're trying to contain ourselves and be professional. But the things that you're saying, writing lasts forever. I really don't think that I've ever heard anybody say that before.
It lasts forever. He said his word will not return void.
Yes.
That's what he said. It means that it's not going to go anywhere. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will stand forever. So writing stands forever.
Yes. Beautiful. Well put. I love that. And then you say, give yourself permission to soar. Oh, I typed wrong. Okay. That's my person. My person that helped me in the background isn't there today. So I'm trying to type and listen, but give yourself permission to soar in every area of your life. I'll correct that. But that is some profound advice that you're sharing with us today.
Yeah. Don't allow average to be your legacy. That's one of my taglines. Do not allow average to be your legacy. Give yourself, stop waiting, get back in the driver's seat. Your fate, you have put the pedal on the drive, put it in drive. You have control of your fate. Do not allow anyone else to take it from you any longer.
Wow. Anybody else want to chime in on what Dr. Sonia is saying? Because I know you can't just sit silently until your turn when you're like, Lord, this woman is preaching over here. Anybody unmute yourself and feel free to chime in on some of her points.
Hi, this is Dr. Natalie Lilliford. I think what Dr. Sonia said is right on point, because we talk about the fact that everybody gets stuck at some point in your life. So giving yourself permission is the number one thing, because a lot of times when you're stuck, you're worried about what it is you are or aren't doing. I'm not good enough. We talk about imposter syndrome, particularly for Black women. And I think what the book does is it gives you all those little pieces that people have been able to overcome. And so whatever story you read, whoever's chapter you read, you're going to get a little piece of that hope. Basically, it gives you a little piece of hope, and when you put all those pieces together, that gives you that platform to soar from.
I
So
love
you
it.
can look at your own life and you can say, okay, yes, I can connect with this woman because I dealt with this, or I can connect with that woman because I dealt with that. And some of the pieces are pretty small, but small is relative, right? So it depends on your life. So for you, not getting that job that was your dream job could be devastating, while somebody else might be dealing with an addiction or abuse or something like that. But all of those things are challenges. And so the bottom line is, as a challenge in your particular life, for your particular set of circumstances, it's something you have to learn to overcome. And I
That's
think
good.
that's where this book makes such a profound difference in the lives of women.
Wow, Dr. Natalie, I can't wait to hear about your chapter. We're going to introduce you formally too, but this is just some good takeaway. Small is relative. If it's all relative, because we're all dealing with something. So what you may be dealing with may be big to you, but it may in somebody else's life they're dealing with something that's big to them, but it's all relative, and we all have to go through this journey. Everybody's dealing with something. Dr. Natalie, profound point. Anybody else want to chime in before we move forward?
Hi. Yes, I do, because what Dr. Stinson had said regarding that your words are going to be here, they're everlasting. That is so that is just so profound when you think about leaving a legacy. And a lot of times we don't understand that the books are going to be here, your writings are going to be here. And so if you have family members, children, grandchildren, they will always have your legacy. They can say, hey, my mom, my grandmother, auntie were authors. But I want to let the women know you have to step aside from fear. Don't let fear stop you from what Dr. Simpson is saying, and that's soaring. Because a lot of people have spoke negativity into our lives. We've heard negativity. We've been told we couldn't measure up. We've been told we're too big, too small. But guess what? God created us in his image. So I do believe that we're okay.
Yes. Come on, prophetess, bring us home. Now you know the way you clapping over there. You know you got something down in your belly that the Lord done put down, and you can go ahead and just release it now, prophetess. Go ahead.
I'm just really honored that I was even a part of this project. What she said, giving your permission to soar. We give permission to everybody else but ourselves. And we're the last one to soar. We find ourselves in a place that I was stuck. And when I met Dr. Stinson, it just everything in me came alive. And that's what the women need to know. There's more to you than what they see on the surface. It's so much more in us. And when I met the women, not just Dr. Stinson, but she was a part of it, the process. And I'm truly honored that women are now taking their place in this earth realm, knowing, listen, I don't have to wait for you to tell me I can soar. I know that God has already given me the ability on the inside to soar. And so all it takes is somebody positive, women, and we're crushing that status quo that women can't help other women, or women can't come together. Yes, we can. So I'm just excited to be a part of this project. I am.
Wow. Okay. Yes, we can. I love that. Yes, we can. You got me over here. Y'all done got me in tear mode. I don't even know what in the world, what specifically triggered some emotions up inside of me, but y'all, I'm over here trying to type, trying to talk. Y'all done got me all stumbled up over here. I know that's people look at me like, how she hosting? She done got all tripped up over there. Listen, what y'all are saying is so uplifting and edifying. It is so much that we go through. I was saying, I literally was standing in my bathroom this morning and I was saying, I was going to go live and talk about it. And I said, women, we have so much to endure. We have so much that is expected of us. So many people that we have to shield and protect and make sure this don't look wrong and that don't look wrong or this don't look right. And everybody else going on about their day and their business, they living their lives, right? But at the end of the day, it's like the expectation still falls back on us as women. And I was just wondering, and I was actually talking to the Lord. I said, Lord, how is it that I can't talk about nobody else, I am expected to carry these things in my journey called life and still soar? It's like, okay, the way that I can do it is knowing that the joy of the Lord is my strength and that he has plans for me that are good and not evil, and everything, no matter what it looks like, is working out for my good. Unbeknownst to me, I don't even know how it's working out. This don't look good. This does not look good. Anybody looking at this know that this don't look good. But some kind of way, something in there, God has shielded me and protected me from whatever it is that was going to be the unexpected end. Only he knew, right? So I don't know. I'm really interested in learning more from God as to how we as women disrupting the status quo, how we are able to do, we do this thing. We do this. So y'all are like superheroes. And it's not a joke when people say that women are wearing a cape and the S on the chest and all. That's real. And every single woman that I know, I've not met a woman that is not wearing a cape or superhero. And whether they want to or whether they want to portray themselves that way or not, that's not what it's about. It's just that it's innate. It's a part of who we are made up of being, our nurturing spirit. Anyway, Lord have mercy, y'all. You done see, Prophetess, only the Lord can reveal certain things to you at that level. You done got us all going over here. And Dr. Sonia, you don't be a visionary like this and get 20. You got 20. Let me put this picture back up. You got 22 of these folk. You got 22 of these folk right here on this project. Let me move this up. This right here.
Awesome women of God. Awesome. I mean, I just love them. We're together now. We're tribe. We're moving this thing forward as disruptors. We are disruptors, and each one of them brings something different. I think of Susan and Christine, and I just met Dr. Natalie and have fell in love with her beautiful smile, just her pores, just how porous she is. I said, when I grow up, I'm gonna be like that woman of God. Mm-hmm.
I am so impressed with what God is doing through your ministry, through your book, through your words of encouragement to help other women as we pave the path. I said we now, like I'm a part of the tribe. I ain't even in the tribe. Okay, the point is, as you all, believe it or not, though, yes, I am a part of the tribe, whether it's this book or whether it's the Walk Past Hell with Dr. Yolanda Jerry, or whether it's Women That Rise Up, Leading Building Legacy with Dr. Nefertina. It doesn't matter what the book is, Kern Cherry's books, all of them. We are united as one, a womanhood that is powerful. My son, he often calls a woman. He said the woman is special. Yeah. And I said, you got to put the E, sweetie, and make it plural. He said, it's just woman. Y'all are woman. I said, okay, call it what you want. All right, everybody, listen, when we come right back, we're going to talk to Prophetess Susan Brown and learn more about you and what you're talking about in I Was Made for This. Man, that's what we're going to talk about when we come back. This woman was made for this. How so? When we come back after this commercial break. Y'all enjoying yourself so far? Christine, Natalie, Prophetess, Dr. Sonia, y'all good? All right. We'll be right back, everybody, right after this commercial break.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements. And we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we are back and we're talking with Prophetess Susan Brown. Let me make sure I introduce this beautiful woman. Prophetess Susan Brown is an end time prophet whom God has raised up to speak a word of life and liberation to his ecclesia church, especially women. I said woman like my son there, he done rubbed off on me, especially women. After Prophetess Susan was set free from a lifestyle that I'll let her tell you about, God commissioned her to speak into the lives of all of those that are bound by the enemy devices. She's heavily involved in prophetic service, prophetic intercession, healing, and deliverance. And I am going to let her tell you more because she's not only the collaborating author of this book, but she's also an author of her first book, My Testimony, The Day the Deliverer Showed Up. My goodness. Welcome, Prophetess Susan Brown. How are you?
I am blessed. That's all I can say. I'm just enjoying the show. I'm going to say Prophetess Kim myself because you teaching some things. You really are. But I'm just honored to be here. I'm truly honored to be here.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here today. And your chapter in this book is, I Was Made for This.
Mm-hmm.
You share some things that you went through on your journey. And I would like for you to talk a little bit about those things now and why you came up with the title of I Was Made for This.
How I came up with the title was years ago. I found myself in a place that I thought I would never be in, and that's on cocaine, crack cocaine, for years because I had a powerful family. I'm the second oldest of 11 children, and I found myself in a place. I got strung out on drugs and prostitution. And when I got saved, it's when I realized that God had built us women with a storm in mind. I started reading and I just got into the scriptures and I started finding out who I was. And the Holy Spirit said, you were made for this. Everything that you're going through in life, I've given you the ability to bounce back quickly. And that's resilience also. And so that was just a saying that I would say to myself, you were made for this, girl. You can do this. And so, and as I went through and got saved, things just started really happening. Even with my children, I found myself in the book I talk about my daughter that passed away in 2006 from some illnesses that she was going through, but CPS had intervened and, you know, the kids got involved and the grandkids. And I share how God allowed me to crush that demon and how to disrupt that status that's saying, you know, once a drug addict, always a drug addict, and you're never going to have your children back again. Matter of fact, you're not even going to have your grandchildren. But at the end of that chapter, you see that I'm raising my grandchildren now. So
yes,
I'm just excited about what God, and the challenges have been hard, but we were made for this. Everything that I'm going through, he's given me the ability to bounce back quickly.
My goodness. I share your sentiments, and all of you that are on today on the panel, feel free to open your mics and share anything that helps resonate with what you were made for. Because I feel like I was made for so many things, and I didn't even know that it was going to be a part of my story or my journey. My children, 3 of them live with cystic fibrosis, stuff that I just could have never even imagined. My one son passed away. But I tell my family many times over, I was born for this. I was created for this. Whatever the reason is that God saw fit to trust me on this journey, this is a part of my destiny. It's part of my life. And I'm honored that he would even choose me and trust me to be able to raise the children that I have. So I don't look at it as a negative or a burden. I look at it as, wow, God, you really knew the kind of love I would have for these people, that you would bless them to come through my womb, you know? Anybody else? Go ahead, open your mic.
Well, Miss Kim, I have to say, Prophetess Suzanne and I, we have come together, and we're sisters. We're definitely sisters in Christ. We met actually through Apostle Stinson, and I met her face to face through sisterhood. It was a conference that Apostle Stinson had actually put on, and I went to Chicago with my spiritual mother, and we were there, and I got a chance to see all the women that I had connected with
Wow.
online and through conference and things of that nature. And so on BGK Network, I have a broadcast, and I interviewed Prophetess Suzanne on my show. And her book is truly a book of a testimony.
My
But I
goodness.
have to say, with everything that all of us go through, especially women, the scripture that comes to mind is many are called, but few are chosen. And so I look at the things that I have gone through in my life, and the Lord had to remind me that you were chosen for this. You were chosen for this. We have to go through some things. There's going to be some
Yep.
journeys, there's going to be some hard times. My first book was about surviving breast cancer. I never knew it would happen. It was in my body. And then now, like most of us, I'm also helping to raise my grandchildren.
Wow.
My daughter happened to a couple years ago get diagnosed with lupus. So how do we know these things are going to come about? We don't. But I had to look at myself going through these things and say, God, only you could give me the strength to go through. The joy of the Lord truly is my strength. When I'm tired, when I don't feel like I can get out of bed, when I don't feel like I can keep going, the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Thank
And
you.
I know that if it was me, if it was in Christine's strength, no, I couldn't make it. But
No.
through the power of the Holy Spirit, I get up every day with a thank you in my heart and with
Hallelujah.
strength and with vitality, where you feel like, yes, I may be 56, but I don't feel 56. Let's
Right.
keep going. Let's keep going.
You
So
look good, by the way. You talking about 56? Girl, you look good. You
I
look
thank
good.
God for all 56 years.
Oh
And
my
but
gosh.
you have to know what it means to live on purpose, because we're continually living on. We can't stop living, and God has so much more for us. And so I just thank God for everyone that's on the panel, and Apostle Stinson being our visionary, and every woman. We are a tribe. All women who come together and
Yeah.
connect, divine connections, we are a tribe.
I love it. Anyone else have a comment before we
Yeah,
proceed? Go ahead.
I definitely have to jump in here because I want to say that I didn't want to do the book, and Dr. Sandra kept showing up. It was like I was like, all right, she showed up in my Facebook, she showed up in my email.
She show up
I
everywhere.
was like, what is going on? I don't even know this woman, and so many things in my life have happened just like that. It's you don't necessarily want to do it. It's not what you're looking for, but it just keeps showing up. It shows up again
Right.
and again and again. And no one can do that but God trying to order your steps. He's like,
That's right.
this is the direction I need you to take. And you don't listen. And a lot of us, a lot of times you don't listen. You're too busy. You've got house things, you've got kids, you've got your work, and those things don't necessarily matter as much
Right.
this direction that you're being handed and ignoring. So it's just fascinating to me that once you see that, you start to understand why you didn't get that job, why you weren't at that specific place.
Yes.
Why are you being pulled in this particular direction?
That's
And I
right.
told Dr. Sandra, I was like, I don't know who you are, but I'm supposed to be here. Okay. And she said, she didn't know me until recently, but we've gotten to know each other. And part of what's amazing about the book is the intimacy of it. It's women unplugged, real, transparent,
I love that.
sharing the stories that they've had inside them that they may not have shared in this particular way, and
That's right.
leaving it as a legacy for look at the strength. And my chapter is strength, determination, and faith, right? So we do everything that way. And that's our legacy as Black women anyway, right? They tried to separate us. They took us apart. They took us away from the family. They broke up the family unit on purpose because if they have left the family unit and all those Black women together, that would have been a problem for the master, right? He would not have been able to rule the way he rules. So you
Right.
separate everyone. That's the first thing they did. And what
That's
this
true.
book does, and what other Black women's organizations and networks do is bring that strength back together. And can you imagine the level of synergy that happens when you put strong Black women together in a network, right? And
Yes.
that's what we see happening in society right now. It is our time. And when you put all that's scary for some people. We scare people when we get together because they're like, you've got this one who's in education, you've got that this one's in the church, you've got that one who's in law. So when you put all those people together, that is a
Right.
power that they have never seen come together before. And
That's
this book
good.
shows you that. When
Mm.
you put that level of women and strength and spirit together, and that's just not our spirit. We go back. We go all the way back to our ancestors. We go all the way back to Kemet and get that strength because we are born of kings and queens and we have forgotten that history.
Mm.
We're not slaves. That was something that was bestowed on us. We were taught that, we accepted it, and we move forward from that. So all of this being stuck and not being able to do and move forward, that is imposed on us by this mental slavery that continues to this very day. That is not who we are. If you go back and you look at our real history started in Egypt. People came to Egypt. The Greeks came to Egypt. The Romans came to Egypt to learn, right? They went there to get knowledge, and that's where our history truly starts. So even just knowing our history and the fact that our history has been stricken from the books, our kids don't know their history. They don't know who they are. Is all a contrived situation so that we don't get where we're supposed to get, and that's at the top. And that's what this book kind of it circles around all of those ideas and brings them back. We've dealt with this, we've succeeded. We've dealt with that, we've succeeded. So that starts to get that different mindset like, yeah, okay, it don't matter how bad it gets, because we're going to get through it and we're going to succeed. And one of the things I wanted to thank Dr. Sandra for talking about my poise and my grace. I love that. A queenly, if you will, because that's the way we should move. And the synergy of putting a network of women together is incredibly powerful. And if you don't have a network, you need one. You need a tribe, you need a group of women and multiple, because I have multiple networks now.
Right. Me too.
you know, and one of the key things I wanted to add is this book shows you how you can move from victim to victor.
That's good. That's good. Moving from victim to victor. Listen, y'all. I mean, this is like literally a book that's going to change your life. It's disrupting the status quo. We're talking with the visionary herself, Dr. Sonia Rickett Stinson, and some of the authors of this powerful, life transforming book, Disrupting the Status Quo. Now, listen, Prophetess Susan, talk to us some more about what it is that you want people to walk away knowing from your chapter.
Women need to know that God has created us to do exactly what that's on the inside of us. I preached yesterday, didn't know I was going to get an engagement concerning the book and the title. And I found myself in Second Kings, and just briefly, it talks about Elijah and the salt, the water that was in the city at that time was bitter, and it had issues. I'll just say that. And so it talks about them bringing him a new bowl with salt, and he threw the salt in the water, and he said, "No longer will this water be impure." I'm paraphrasing it. Bottom line, God has preserved you. There's a preservative. Salt is a preservative. And I just want the women to know that God has preserved you for such a time as this. And when I talk about my chapter, I just don't talk about my daughter, but the struggle. She died with an illness, lupus, and myasthenia gravis, and some other things. And so we have to know how to defeat the enemy when he comes in to attack our families, our children. We have to know what weapon or what is that preservative that God has given you to defeat the enemy. He has kept you, and not just to take care of us or look good or look nice. No, no, no.
Right.
You have an assignment attached to who you are. And only you have the ability. And if you don't do it, he can raise somebody else up. But God wants women to take their place in the earth realm. And I know that you are, and we're strong. And he told me at the beginning of the year, he said, Susan, I'm building my soldiers back. This is the year of the soldiers, and we have to stand strong as women, united. And that's my whole message. My ministry is Sisters Celebrating Sisters. I have a Sister Talk broadcast, and I love to see women take their place, knowing that God has made you. Whatever your struggle is, whatever your storm is, whatever that you're facing in your life right now, God made you to defeat and disrupt that status quo and crush it. David crushed his Goliath. Not only did he crush it, he cut the head off of it. So we have to decapitate things in our lives that God, come on, that seems as if it's crushing us, but it's not. So my kudos to Dr. Stinson, to you, Kim, and to all the other women, Prophetess Christine. I promise you that God is going to do, this is not the end. This is only the beginning.
Preach the word, woman of God. Listen, Sisters Celebrating Sisters broadcast. When does that air?
Sister Talk airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the BGK network.
Every Thursday at 6 p.m.?
At 6 p.m.
Okay, I'm just typing that. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on what is it?
BGK network.
BGK network.
Yes.
Okay. Sister Talk. Is that what you said, right?
It is.
Sister Talk. That's really good. I want to make sure I get that up here so people will have access to that broadcast as well. And what I do is I want to make sure I invite you all to come back. I'll put it in a private chat. So before y'all chime off, check back there to come on and share your individual stories too for the full hour as one of our guests, because each of your stories takes its own roots and go in different directions. And I would love for us to deep dive more, because some of these topics are needed by the people that are watching these episodes on how they're balancing and managing and trying to get through this journey called life. And your story is going to resonate and help everyone that's watching. All right. So make sure you all check out Sister Talk broadcast. And it's every Thursday at 6 p.m. on BGK Network with Prophetess Susan. Okay. Did I put that right?
Yes, you did.
All right. And how can they stay connected with you as well? Go ahead and tell them that.
You can go to my Facebook, Susan Brown, and go in my inbox and send me a snippet of your testimony, and you just might be a guest on the Sister Talk broadcast. And you can email me at scssistertalk@gmail.com.
All right. So next we're going to you, Natalie. Okay. So we're going to be coming back after this commercial break, and we're going to be hearing from Natalie Lillevoix. I said it right. Yeah! Okay. So Natalie, right after this commercial break. And make sure you all are tagging your friends, your family, your coworkers, inviting them into today's discussion. And then also let us know where you're visiting in from as well. We'll be right back.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, and we are back. We're talking with a few of the authors from the book, Disrupting the Status Quo. Let me let you know what that image looks like when you're out looking for it from one of these fabulous authors that's here. There are 22 of them. We've met some a week or so ago here on the show, and we're going to meet some more tomorrow. So each of them have different stories, different journeys, and Dr. Sonia Rickett Stinson is the visionary behind this anthology, Disrupting the Status Quo. And today we have with us Dr. Natalie, we have Christine, we have Prophetess Susan, and we have the visionary herself, Dr. Sonia Ricketts Stinson. So make sure you all go ahead and share this broadcast. And we're getting ready to meet this wonderful queen. And this is Dr. Natalie Lillevoix. Now, Dr. Natalie is the CEO and founder of Zahara Crown Incorporated, an educational consulting company that provides professional educational support to families, teachers, districts, and organizations with the goal of designing and delivering high quality, positive, engaging learning experiences for students of color. Her mission is to level the playing field by empowering these families with the educational and financial information, resources, and tools that will help them be successful at building a strong legacy for their futures. Now, she is also Dr. Natalie is the executive producer of TEDx Deer Park, also having curated successful TEDx events annually since 2017. It's a lot of things to her portfolio here. She is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority and National Coalition of 100 Black Women Long Island, just to name just a few, as well as Melodies of Sisterhood. So I am excited. It's Malik, Melodies Sisterhood Incorporated. I'm excited to have with us today, Dr. Natalie Lillevoix. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here with some of the co-authors, my sisters, and of course, Dr. Sanja. And thank you so much, Kim, for having us.
Yeah,
Uh,
you tell us your chapter. Your chapter is strength, determination, faith.
yes,
You've actually been a veteran in the U.S. Army Reserve, a captain. You were known as Captain Lillevoix. Talk to us about the strength that you possess.
so if you want to start with that part, I went through RTC when I was in college, and it was just another option. And I think I was blessed to have multiple options available to me, and I tried to take advantage of many of them. And then we'll talk about what happens when you do that, because then you become sort of over enrolled in a lot of things, and you have to make some choices, right? But I went, and I was, wishy washy. I wasn't like 100% in, 100% out, and my commander said to me, "I'm not sure I want to send you for the next level of training." He said, you have or you have to be hungry for it, was the way he worded it. And I thought about that a lot, and I said, maybe he's right. I'm not 100% invested. I mean, I was angry, of course, but I had to sit back and think about, what does that mean? How do I show up here? You know, and I'm being mediocre is basically what he was saying. You're not really 100% in, you're not really out. You're here sometimes, you're not on time. You're not meeting your quota. So I told him that, if you send me, and if you approve this, I will make you proud. I
Wow.
went down there and I did the training, and I came back with all 90s in every area. So, of course, the physical fitness piece was a tough piece, and I kept, struggling with the 2 mile run and struggling with this and struggling with that. But when I got down there, I got myself, with a few other people and women, and we built a group that kept working at it and working at it and working at it. And when I came back, he was so excited because I didn't know he was getting reports the whole time. So they would tell him when I had passed certain things and when things had happened and whatever, because he was keeping track. He was just a wonderful, wonderful man. Um, and so when I came back, he said to me, "What do you want to do next?" And my degree was in education, elementary education and psychology. And I said, "I want to teach." He said, "Okay." He picked up the phone, he made a phone call, and he said, "You have an interview at such and such a place on Monday." And I was like, "Thank you." And he just like he was just there. He was like my angel, my little support person for a very long time. And he literally moved me along in my career path. And I never forgot that. And I definitely thank him for all of that work. But I say that to say that there are opportunities that show up, and you just have to make some decisions about how you're going to show up when they show up. Either you're going to be part of it or you're not, or you're going to make the choice to, you could try things. And I think in college is the age where, you get to try different things, but then at some point as you're leaving, you need to make some choices. And that can be very, very hard because you're not really sure who you are yet. and you need somebody to kind of have that guidance. And of course, I felt that God spoke through him to help me
Right.
become something, pick something, do something, you know. Um, and so I was like, all right. And when I came back, I was so clear about, yes, I did some time in the military. I became a captain. I did my reserve time and everything. And I appreciated that time because of the structure of it. It's very structured. You wake up at this time, you do this, you do that. And even there, having to be told what to do didn't
Right.
resonate with me 100%. That's why I became, I became a captain. I was, I was a second lieutenant, moved up. And so part of that is being in a leadership system, not just being part of the rank and file, but also in a leadership system. Because I think in many of the things I've done, it's about leading others and about sharing your knowledge and the wealth of who you are, your talents, and understanding that sometimes your purpose is to grow others. Um,
Right.
your purpose is to pour into them and watch them succeed. And I've done that I'm an educator by trade. I've taught for 34, I've been in the educational system for 34 years,
Right.
whether it be with kids or other teachers. I've mentored teachers, I've taught courses. And you always see people that are what I say rudderless. You get to a point in your life where you're not really sure what you want to do, where you want to go. And I resonate with people like that. It's like, all right, let's unpack that. What is it about where you are that doesn't work? And I'm there sometimes. I retired a year ago. I'm building this business out. I'm getting a lot of these other things that are, you can be seen as distraction or it could be the direction. So, is it a distraction or is it your direction? You have to really think about like
Right.
what is it, and it's like that many, many times. And you have to think about, okay, is it distracting you from where you're supposed to be going or is it your new path? Um, and the only way to find out is to pray on that. You have to just pray on it because it keeps coming up. And like Dr. Sandra kept showing up and showing up. I was like, is this a distraction or is it a direction?
Right. Right. But then you like, I gotta do this. I gotta do
Yeah, this I
this.
had to do,
It's
and
showing up too much.
exactly. She showed up a lot. And I was like, all right, so that's something I need to be doing. And other things are just distractions, and who puts those there. You want to make sure you're not getting where you're supposed to be
That's
getting and
right.
doing what you're supposed to be doing. So, a lot of times, when you're unsure is probably when it's the most difficult. When you're unsure where you want to go next or what the next phase of your life should look like, that's that's where that purpose, that sense of purpose, that passion in your purpose becomes important.
Let me ask you, you say pick one thing. I think out of a lot of stuff that you said, that's something that really resonates with me and picking one thing. There's a book actually called The One Thing, and I did a training with our Mother Dreamer movement members about just how the domino effect can really work when you identify that one thing and you really build momentum on that. How do you advise people to get started in identifying which one thing they should pursue?
I think it starts with your character and your values. Like, what are your
Okay.
values? What is your mission statement for yourself, for your life, for what you believe your purpose is? And once you do that, it's almost like a magnet. The things that align with your purpose and mission will show up. And then there will be other things that you can clearly say no because it doesn't align with what you want. So I work with women, I work with youth, I'm an educator, I'm doing financial literacy, and I'm focusing on Black communities. So when things show up that don't align or don't seem to fit with those goals, then it's probably a no. And you could try different things. You could say, all right, maybe I'll go over here. I'm not going to be
Right.
skydiving. I'm not going to be doing certain things, but things that align with those goals. Once you know who you are and what your purpose is, what your
I
mission
agree.
is, and what the prophetess said, what is your purpose, your mission? How do you understand that about what your assignment is? What is your assignment? And if your assignment is mentoring, is teaching, is educating, is edifying, if that's your assignment, the things that don't do that are not part of your purpose. It's that
Right.
simple. It's complicated, but it's actually that simple.
I love that. I love that. Now, how can people stay connected with you?
My company, the education consulting company that you mentioned, is Zahara Crown Incorporated. The website is zaharacrown.com. And the Gmail for that is zaharacrown@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, although I don't tweet very often. So it's probably easier to find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Awesome. Awesome. So you guys, you have to get this book and make sure that you read all of these diverse chapters, because even though we're all women, they're representing so many different areas of our lives. I've heard from Prophetess that's talking about her child that's passing away due to an illness. And so she definitely can connect with a grieving mother. And then how she still is able to intercede, and how probably she interceded on her own behalf when she was dealing with some of the things that she's made for, according to her own chapter. And Dr. Sonia, being able to talk about crushing mediocrity and how do we transform just so we can live on our purpose. And here she's putting an anthology together to be able to make this thing become a reality. And Dr. Natalie talking already about how to pick that one thing. I think that strength and that determination, and having somebody kind of call you to the carpet to say, is this really what you are called to do? Because you may not be as into it as you think you are. And some good stuff that I'm hearing. And we're going to hear right now from Christine Bowen, who is getting ready to tell us about her chapter, which is really, that's what you thought? That's the name of her chapter, y'all. Really? I don't know if that's how you said it. I'm just saying it. Really? That's what you thought? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what the real thought is after this commercial break. We're going to hear from Christine Bowen. We'll be right back. Wow. This was, y'all are just, this is a great episode. I'm enjoying you guys so much. We'll be right back.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection. With funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions, 704-499-3616.
Lamb Funeral Home has been serving the Cabarrus County in North Carolina and surrounding communities for more than 9 years. Our staff of funeral directors are dedicated to providing the very highest quality of service and continue to be well respected throughout the communities we serve. Our professionals are caring, experienced professionals who understand that each family is unique and has personal requests and traditions. These requests and traditions are the utmost importance to our staff of licensed funeral directors. From the initial care to aftercare, you can entrust your loved one and arrangements to Lamb Funeral Home.
All right, and we are back. We are back with Christine Bowen, who is also one of the collaborating authors in this fantastic book, Disrupting the Status Quo. So let me introduce you. Prophetess Christine Bowen is co-pastor alongside her husband at Emmanuel Temple of Praise Ministries International in Houston, Texas. She's an author, Christian counselor, CEO, founder of Real Talk, Just the Number 4 Women, and Living on Purpose, aka Asserting Kingdom Authority broadcast, which is also on bgknetwork.org, bgknetwork.org. She's an advocate for those who do not have a voice, speaking out for injustice against children and for mental health awareness. We definitely need you to come back for mental health awareness. Please book to come back in the community while helping others to find resources to meet their needs. Now, there are so many other aspects to this woman of God. Love beyond love is her signature. And she says, because to love as Christ loves, we must love beyond our natural perceptions of what love means. Love beyond hurt, pain, while giving love when it seems to be the hardest thing to do. Wow. Welcome, Prophetess, Pastor Christine Bowen. How are you?
Blessings, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am honored to be here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I I thank God for this opportunity. And I'm so grateful to be with all these wonderful women on this panel and the women on the book project and our leader, Dr. Stinson. I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much.
Well, glad to have you here today. In your chapter, I like to kind of hear you say it because you know it was what God gave you. So I was just playing around, but tell me how it was put in your spirit.
You were spot on. Really? That's what you thought?
Now, what do you mean by that when you say, really? That's what you thought? What do you mean? Talk to us.
I was a young girl and I was coming home from school, and my two aunts were in the kitchen. They were having conversation and they didn't even realize I was there. And so as I got closer, I was able to overhear their conversation. And I just happened to be part of their conversation. And they were talking about how I wouldn't amount to nothing. I may be pregnant
Aw.
before I graduate high school. They were comparing me to my mother. They had all of these negative things to say about me. And so I just kind of remember standing up against the wall saying, really? You're like, someone who is supposed to love you, care for you. You're a family member. I've been raised with you. Really? And it kind of just took the wind out of me because you never think as a child that someone who is an adult that say they love you could ever have those ill feelings or even thoughts of you. And so I just kind of had to take a minute to even think about whether or not this is really happening, if this is really real. And so as I wiped away the tears and understood, okay, this is not who I am, I began to stand up and I said, no, I'm going to make what they said into a lie. And that's how that began with, really? That's what you thought?
Wow. I don't know why people say things and thinking that they just talking. They're not thinking about you or one way or the other. They're just having their so-called girlfriend time, not knowing that that's changing the outcome of your destiny forever. I witnessed the same thing, hearing someone, a friend of mine, her parent and somebody else was in the park talking and they were like, oh, she's going to be pregnant before she get out of high school. I was thinking, that's the same thing I thought. I was like, really? And I'm staying at your house for the night. I'm actually thinking that I'm staying somewhere with someone that cares about me and you clearly don't care anything about me for you to be sitting here saying these things that are detrimental to the outcome of who I am,
Mhm.
And even for those that did get pregnant in high school and so this is a key point, caveat here. For those that did get pregnant in high school, even though I did not, I still love those young ladies too. And really, just because she got pregnant in high school means that she's not going to amount to anything. I beg to differ with that. I
That's
think
right.
that God has a purpose for her. So
That's
carry
right.
on, Christine.
That's
Talk to
right.
us.
And that's where, when you disrupt the status quo, in that time of me growing up, I grew up in the hood, so to speak. And so the status is that every African American young girl was either going to be on government assistance, was going to be pregnant, barefoot and pregnant, so to
Right.
speak, and would not graduate high school and things of that nature. So no, I'm disrupting this whole thing. That is not who I am. That is not who God created me to be. And so I'm an advocate for children because today we hear the same thing. We have children who are hearing nothing but negativity. They're hearing that they have to score a certain GPA to actually be looked upon as being intellectual, or
Right.
they have to be able to look a certain way. That's why they want to wear the certain clothes and that are name brand and things of that nature, because they don't know who they are. They don't have an identity. But it's unfortunate because growing up the way that I did, I learned how to survive.
Yes.
You learn
Same
how
here.
to make it. You don't take for granted that if your mom puts rice and chicken on the table, you're going to sit down and eat that rice and chicken. You're not going to complain that it's not shrimp or crab. You understand what I'm saying?
Better
And
believe
so,
it.
we have to be the example. And I put in the book, if I could go back to those two aunts who are now passed on, I would thank them, because had I not got angry enough to fight for my life, had I not got angry enough to allow that to catapult me into my purpose and destiny, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. And I wouldn't be able to tell someone else, because I too am in education. I teach in a community, in a university. And so I told God when I finished my degree, I said, if you allow me to be a teacher, I will be the teacher that I wanted. I will be that teacher that would listen, that would be caring, that would not, teach above my head, that would understand that I'm just trying to get the information. You may have a PhD, but I'm trying to get there. And so oftentimes we get those titles, we're able to get our degrees, and then we look down on other people. No, no, no. I can't look down on you. I can't judge you because I haven't arrived yet. God has blessed us and graced us all in whatever he deems for us to go through. If a young lady got pregnant in high school, that's going to be part of her destiny, her testimony. We all have to have a testimony. So this is going to be part of her testimony, not to judge her, but love her through. And that's love beyond love. Even though you may hurt me, how can I love you the way Christ would have me to love you, where I'm not looking at it through my perception, but God's perception? Let me love you beyond love.
This is so good. Now you're a pastor too, so you're dealing a lot with people that are in situations that they're trying to seek hope. Yes. And encouragement. What advice would you give people? And this will be kind of probably my last question for right now, but what advice would you give people to be able to have hope in the midst of everything that we're going through in this lifetime right now?
Faith. You have to have faith. I had got accepted into the MBA program, and I'm thinking, yay, I'm going to have, be CEO. And God said, nope, that's not what I have for you. And I said, Lord. And so he steered me toward counseling, to be able to counsel families and children. Why? Because someone said earlier, the family unit is not a family unit anymore. And hope has been drained from people because we put our hope in what we can touch. We put our hope in government. We put our hope in materialistic things. And when those things are taken away, when there is a war, when there is a fire, when there is a tsunami, we have no hope. But those of us who are born again, who know Christ as our Lord and Savior, he is our hope. We know that there is a end to all, that there is a rainbow, because it's a promise. He will never leave us nor forsake it. That's a promise. We have to stop listening to the lies that are within us that tell us that we cannot, and know that we can. Turn those lies into truth. You can make it. You can succeed. You are worth being loved. These are the things that we have to reverse. We have to reverse the curses. And so there is hope that lies on the inside of each of you and each one of us, but we just have to tap into it. What are you living for? And who are you living for? Because that makes all the difference in the world.
Wow. You're going to say, I'm going to save you for last. Lord have mercy. What in the world? What in the world? Y'all done come up in here and done preached a whole sermon on the Kim Jacobs Show today. Listen, you can make it. You can succeed. You're worthy of being loved. Reverse the curses, according to Pastor Christine. You don't want to miss the opportunity to utilize the faith that God has given you. And you can watch her on Living on Purpose on bgknetwork.com at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. So listen, all of these women that have come on today, including Dr. Sonia, who was able to pop in for a few moments throughout today's broadcast, you can get a copy of their book, which is Disrupting the Status Quo. The book is available on Amazon, but please make sure that you get the book from one of these authors if you want a signed copy. And also on tomorrow, we're going to be talking with a few more of the authors of Disrupting the Status Quo. So some more of your sisters will be in the house. Sherry will be here. Susan will be back tomorrow. Prophetess Susan, Deborah will be here, and Dorothy, as well as Dr. Sonia. So y'all make sure you plan to be in your virtual seats at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. open your mics and give one closing comment, and we're going to get off of this show. So let me start. Let me also let everybody know right quick, I didn't tell you all, I'm the new managing director with eWomen Network, and I am the managing director here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. We have an event coming up virtually on April 11th. It's an accelerated networking event, and our speaker is going to be talking about using creativity on social media in 20 minutes or less. So you can, the link there to register if you're interested is right there in the comment section, and we'd love to have you and be a part of our networking, no matter where you are in the country, because it's virtual right now, you can participate. All right, so unmute yourself, Dr. Natalie, and tell us something.
Okay, so let's see, final something. I think the most significant thing I could add to everything is that, let's see, I'm thinking about what I put in my chapter. It's basically, this too shall pass. It's a lot of people are going through some difficulties, going through challenges. It looks hopeless. It looks like it'll never go away. But hey, COVID, everything, this too shall pass. And you just have to have that faith, strength, and determination. Keep moving through, do your day to day, do what you have to do.
That's good.
And hold on to something. Hold on to your family. Hold on to your children, your significant other, your faith, your church. You have to find that peace that's going to get you through. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, and you have to hold on to that and move through whatever it is that you have to go through.
Dr. Christine, or Pastor Christine. You pastor, prophetess, associate pastor, everything. Go ahead.
I will have that doctoral degree, by the way, in about 3 months. So you're on with that one too. I'm taking that one off my bucket list next.
Ain't no stopping you, girl. That's a good thing. Go ahead. Tell us a closing thought.
As long as you are living, you have a purpose. Strive to do what's in your ability to do, because God has created you for this, and you can do it. You can make it. Don't worry about the negativity that's going on around you. Don't listen to those tiny voices. Listen to the voice of God and do what's empowered in you to do.
Yes, yes. All right, close us out, Prophetess Susan.
You have the ability on the inside of you to speak those things that are not as though they were. And so God really wants us to make those daily declarations. I am an entrepreneurial woman, and I am crushing mediocrity. Matter of fact, I'm crushing everything in my path because I was made for this. You were made for this. God built you with a storm in mind.
Wow. Listen, all of the contact information for these women, I've been posting it throughout today's broadcast. It has been an incredible experience having you all here to share a piece of your journey. They're going to come back individually so we can spend a full hour with each of them. I will see you all tomorrow here on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you all ladies would stay backstage for a brief moment, and we'll share one thing with you. But everybody, listen, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you 11 o'clock a.m. right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. You all are amazing. Y'all done blessed my whole soul. God bless you. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show.